Yom Tov Pesach is called Zman Chirisenu, a time of our freedom. And a lot of people ask themselves, where is the freedom? How do you call this free? Pesach is a big burden. You gotta clean the house, kasher the kitchen, you gotta buy a lot of foods in Pesach itself. You can't eat this, you can't eat that, you have to be careful. Where is freedom? That does not sound like freedom. So let's understand what is freedom and does freedom actually exist? When you want to say a person is a free person or a free society, how would you define it? That everybody can do whatever they want, whatever their heart desires? So that means, should a person want to harm another person, he should be able to do so? It's a free person. It's a free society. People can do whatever they want. That doesn't make any sense. And there are places in the world where it's kind of that way. There's no real government and everybody does whatever they want, and I don't think you want to go there. It's not safe to be there. So that cannot be freedom. So apparently you understand, you have to dictate yourself to basics of morality, not to harm other people, in order for society to go on, for the world to go on. So it cannot be completely free. So you want to say, okay, I understand. I need to have, everybody has to have the moral basics, but after that, I'm completely free. I mean, society is completely free. That what means freedom. So first of all, to be a moral person requires it is a big burden, and you have to be dictated to morality, and not for nothing that most people have a hard time being moral, because it's not an easy thing to do. So that by itself is a burden. But let's put it aside. Let's say, okay, but you have to do that. But other than that, free society can do whatever they want. So how would people live? How would you live? If you're a free person, only morality, that's the only thing you have, how are you going to live? If you want to have food, somebody has to work the field. If you want to have a house, somebody has to build it, somebody has to maintain it. Either you do it yourself, either you pay somebody else to do it, so you need the money for that. So you have to work. So there you go. Life requires a lot of work, a lot of pressure, so where's the freedom? So you want to say, okay, I understand. I got to work, it's a lot of pressure, it's probably most of the time of most of the weeks, and I have to have the burden of the basic morals, but after that, I'm free. Meaning I have no obligation other than that. If that's the case, can you show me one person in the world who lives like that? Does then exist a single person in the world that you could show me that works and is a moral person, doesn't harm anybody, but other than that, that person has absolutely no other obligation, is not dictated to anything else? I tell you cannot show me a single person like that, because it does not exist. Every person in this world is dictated to something. The Rambam writes that every person believes in something. You're not going to find a single person that will say, I believe in nothing. Everybody believes in something. The question is what they believe in. Now, the Rambam didn't live in a time where there were non-religious people. I mean, this basic society, everybody had their religion. So he pointed more to belief, but you're not going to find a single person that is not dictated to anything. And actually, the belief of a person is the thing that dictates the person. If a person believes in Hashem and Torah, will dictate to Hashem and the Torah. And if a person, God forbid, believes in idol worship, he will dictate himself in idol worship. So the belief is a determinant of the dictatorship. Every person is dictated to something, and the most where you could find it is when you find a person that grew up religious and they left religion. They became non-religion. So officially they're supposed to be a free person. Go talk to them and say something that's not politically correct. They will stop you right away. Hey, you can't say that. That's not politically correct. I mean, I don't understand. Aren't you a free person? You can do whatever you want. You left the Torah, now you can do whatever you want, and now you have to watch every word you're saying. What kind of freedom is that? Well, that's how they are. Now, let's say the person is not the liberal type of person, then he's a conspiracy theorist. Then he's dictated to whatever the conspiracy theorists tell them, and whatever that requires, whatever it should be, that person will be dictated to it. Is he not a conspiracy theorist? You find something else. The reason why I mentioned liberalism, because that is the most common thing where non-religious people end up. Not only that, liberalism, the whole reason how it came to exist and how it became so strong, became from people who left religion. And they went and they created a new religion called liberalism. And what is liberalism? Liberalism is a religion where it says, follow your heart. Do whatever you desire. Whatever your heart tells you. Be full of temptation. And the same people, they want to have a government that dictates them and tells them how to live their lives. Why is that? Because when a person follows their heart and does whatever they want, they follow all temptations of the world, they feel too free, and a person cannot be free. Therefore, they go and they're trying to dictate themselves to something else. They will find something to dictate, so they go and they create their own religion. Now, if you want to see it more proof, go look at the history of America. The United States is officially a free country. We all know that today's days it's not as free as it was when it was founded, but it was a free country. Now, first of all, you see when America was founded, it was a free country, but you had to pay taxes. You couldn't do whatever exactly what you want. Well, that's precisely the idea. The government is limiting your rights, so society should be able to go on. Now, go look at the majority of citizens of America when America was founded. They were all religious people. Makes no difference what religion they were. They were all religious people. So they dictate themselves to a religion. Therefore, they didn't see a reason why I need the government to dictate me. And that's how freedom was able to come to existence. I'm dictated to my religion, and now you leave me alone. I don't need any dictating from somebody else. Now you can ask me, there are other countries in the world where there are religious people and they're dictating. It's a whole different discussion. There exists a belief about the religion actually believes you have to be dictating, whatever. I'm not going to go into that. The main thing is, when a person is dictated to something, doesn't see a reason why the government has to dictate them. Versus when a person has nothing to be dictated under, they will find something else to be dictated. Now you're going to go look at the history of America. You could see like a parallel line. The more the percent of America end up becoming non-religious, the more the government became dictating. It goes like literally one after the other. Go look at the history of America, you'll see it. Because everybody is dictated to something. The question is what? Now, what was Mitzrayim? Mitzrayim was a place full of temptation, full of znes. People lived very free. They were able to follow whatever their heart desires, in terms of temptation. So they didn't have God, so they went and they created their own God. They made Pharaoh, they made him into a godlike figure. They dictated themselves under him. And the Jews were just the lower class, the slave class. So by Yetzias Mitzrayim, what happened? The Jews were pulled out from Mitzrayim, pulled out from a land full of temptation, a land of dictatorship, which temptation and dictatorship goes one in one. And they were brought out of that, and they were right away given the Torah. Have you ever thought about it? Were the Jews free? Right after they come out of Mitzrayim, they're giving Shabbos and then giving the Torah. And the Torah tells them this you can do, this you could do. Which kind of freedom is that? That is precisely the freedom. That is precisely the freedom that Hashem showed them. Either you could choose Mitzrayim, where they follow the heart, they're full of znis, full of temptation, and end up becoming dictated under a Russia who tortures the whole country. Either you could go and free yourself from all temptations of the world. And be my people, mean actually serve God and dictate yourself to Torah, so you'll feel free. You'll be free from all temptations in the world and all the governments in the world, all those dictators in the world. And God will be your government. That is precisely what Chayrus is. Because if you want to understand a little bit more, what is temptations? All Olam Hazeh. What is that? In order to have Olam Hazeh, in order to follow your desires, let's say you want to go to nice resorts and nice restaurants, you got to work hard. Either you work hard to pay for it beforehand, either you work hard afterwards to pay for the credit cards that you spend on. But you got to work hard to get it. And the enjoyment is very little, and it doesn't fulfill you. You're never going to hear of a person saying, you know, I've been to this nice resort and it was so fulfilling. You're never going to hear that kind of thing. You know, the resort gave him a purpose in life. It doesn't exist. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't give you any purpose. Yeah, it's a good experience. Might be joyful for that moment, but that's about it. So a person goes and works hard and basically gets nowhere, meaning you have all these temptations and it doesn't bring you anything. That is a very hardship, a very hard life. So imagine you could be free of that and actually live with Hashem, be connected to Hashem by being dictated to the Torah and following His ways, by following the Torah. That's how you follow God. Then you're free from all temptations. You don't need all that stuff. You just need Hashem. And you're happy with it. And when the Jews are behaving good, then there's no such a thing as a Malchus having power over the Jews. No government in the world can do any harm to the Jews. So you are free from a government. That is the definition of freedom. And this is what it means, Pesach, Yetzias Mitzrayim, that we got pulled out from that dictatorship, from slavery, to be slaves to temptations, which is equal to be a slave to a government, and to be a free person by being dictated to the Torah. And that brings you freedom. Now, I'm dictated to temptations because I'm a human being. But I know this is the job that we're here on this world to fight with the Yetzer Hara. And even if you fall down, you keep on getting up. You don't give up. And that is what Pesach comes to teach us, to keep on getting up and pulling ourselves out from all temptations. And no matter how many times you fall down, you get back up. I hope you all understand. Have a happy Yom Tov.